Hello, crypto world. Welcome to the Chart Historian. My name is Justin, and on this channel, I delve deep into crypto charts, exploring chart structures, fractals, and patterns. Well, I had the XRP chart open, and it's been a while since I made a video, and I apologize for the long moment of silence on YouTube. My life has been extremely busy. However, I will still be making videos, so don't feel that I have abandoned this channel. That is not the case. I just have been extremely busy as of late. Now, I want to talk about the XRP chart, and that's what I have open today. And it's important because we are actually getting close to having completed Fractal 1. So this is the fractal, the first fractal of the range-bound sideways time. This area right here is that first fractal. Let me zoom out and I'll show you what fractal I have pulled from to compare what is taking place on today's chart to what has already taken place in history. Okay, so here is a nice zoomed out picture of the greater XRP chart, and the greater XRP structure is noticeable in this zoomed out picture. Let me start with showing you the macro structure so you have a good feeling of where we are and what is taking place on today's chart. Okay, so here is the overall structure, and if you follow me on Twitter, you may have seen this already. So XRP consists of three basic phases. So you have your bull run right here, and then after the bull run, you have a decline in which price does what it says. It declines down to a point, at which point it moves into a range-bound sideways time. And we see this repeated throughout the chart. So here it repeats again. We have the bull run, we have the decline, and now we're in that range-bound sideways time. Over here, we see the same thing. We have the bull run, we have the decline, and then we have the range-bound sideways time. Every single time this plays out, the timing of it is different, the height, the depth is different, but the same fundamental structure is at play. So what is this right here? Well, this is fractal 1 of this greater range-bound sideways time. And I have taken this fractal, and I am going to copy and paste it over here, and we're going to compare where we are, number one, in this structure, and two, how it matches, or in some cases, doesn't match. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in over here with this fractal copy and pasted on here next. But the important thing here was to show you that XRP has this macro structure, and there has never, ever been a case where this macro structure has deviated or changed its course. Even the SEC lawsuit, which took place here, did not change the macro structure of the chart. It still remained in the sideways range-bound time. It did not move XRP into a bull run, nor did it move it into a decline. It stayed its course. So even this lawsuit, and this is not a popular thing, and it's a terrible thing to say to grow my channel. Even this lawsuit is less important, less powerful than this overall macro structure. So, and the reason why I say that it's not a popular thing to say is the belief is that as soon as this lawsuit is over, it's going to go into a bull run. Now, that could take place. However, that would need to come at this point in the chart. So that would be saying that XRP will remain in this limbo land legally with this lawsuit for a while longer until we get to that point where the bull run starts. It could be a catalyst for the bull run, but it's not. We have no historical evidence to say that it's going to change this structure fundamentally and make something appear that has never happened in history before. So unless this is the end of history, this is what we should expect. All right, that was a small little tangent there. Let's jump into today's chart and examine it more closely, comparing it to this structure right here. Okay, so here is that fractal from 2018/19 where it's the first fractal in the sideways range-bound time that I was showing you. So this is that fractal, copy and pasted onto today's chart. So let's look at the similarities. There's clearly similarities going on here. It moves up, it moves down, moves back up again, moves back down. And here is where it gets a little different. It moves up in today's chart, whereas the chart back in 2019 moved up later on. Okay, now let's jump back into similarities. So even though today's chart moved up higher versus back in 2019, that doesn't end the similarities. As you can see, there are the same features are fundamentally taking place. So you have this dip here, you also have this dip here. Back in 2019, it surges up here, it surged up over here. The timing was different, and the height, the depth was different. Now, that brings up an important point. So for those of you who are new to this channel, height, timing, and depth will always be an original feature when a fractal repeats. So even though the structure, the main structure is playing out, the way it plays out can have a veneer or a flare of originality to it, and that will make every single structure that plays out, every single fractal that plays out, it will always have a unique side to it. It will be unique in some way compared to what previously came before it. So, as we can see, there are similarities. So we have this dip here, we have this dip here. It does move up. So this move up right here this was much more exaggerated in today's chart, and it is now declining. But even with this decline, you see it moves up here in the fractal, so it's doing that same thing in the chart. The important thing here is we are near the end of this fractal. So this is what we should expect. Now, it could go flat. The timing, the height, and the depth are all going to be unique. They're going to be original. So how this ends up playing out is I can't tell you for sure. But what I can tell you is that the moment we reach here, this fractal 1 of this sideways range-bound time is done. What will happen next? Well, price is going to move back up. Now, I don't know how high it will go, and when that happens, I'm going to delve into fractal 2 of this structure. This structure has played out many, many times throughout the XRP history, starting from the very beginning. So it will move back up. Now traditionally or historically, it has gone somewhere up to this level. It could be higher, it could be lower. Let's go back to the big picture of the XRP chart, and we'll take a quick peek at how this next fractal moves back up. It'll just be a quick view of it. Okay, so here we are on a zoomed out picture of the XRP chart. Here is fractal 1, here is fractal 2, and here is fractal 3. Now, I subdivide these fractals into different subcategories. So fractal 1 has essentially two parts to it. Part A, it moves up, and then it drops back down in part B. Now, sometimes this fractal has some variance to it. It can go flat like it did here, or it can also sometimes kind of drop down further than it does in this case. However, once it completes this B section, it is done. So in fractal 2, price moves back up, and as you can see, it moved up, in this case, not quite as high as here. So this is what we are going to go through next. Now, it has been played out in different ways in the past, but there are some fundamental features that I'll get into once we approach this time. Fractal 3 is where things come to life. Price gets more volatile. It moves up, it moves down quite drastically, or it can, before moving into the bull run. So let's jump in over here and look at this sideways range-bound time, which is this and what we are going through right now over here, and we can examine what this looks like. Okay, so here we are in 2017. Now this one took place in a very short time frame. Here's the greater sideways range-bound time. Here's fractal 1, fractal 2, fractal 3, as you can see. And you can see part A where it moves up. Part B, this one kind of moves down, like I was telling you, moves down to a point before moving back up in fractal 2. So fractal 2, price moves up, and it actually went, well, it didn't quite go higher, went about the same height. We'll discuss this in later videos. Here's fractal 3. It gets a little volatile. It moves up, it moves down before moving into that next bull run. Actually, let's go back further in time and examine this sideways range-bound time. Okay, so here we are back in 2015 after the decline, which came after the bull run. So here's that sideways range-bound time, and as you can see, price moves up in fractal 1, forming part A. Part B, this one moved down. It didn't go quite as flat like the one in 2018 did. And then in fractal 2, it moves back up. This time it didn't go as high as here. And then here we have fractal 3, where price moves up, it moves way down, it wicks way down here. So price becomes volatile in fractal 3 before moving into the bull run. Let's even go further back and look at this one over here. Okay, so here is the sideways range-bound time. This one started in 2014. As you can see, price moves up after the decline. This right here is part A. Part B, this one is kind of more similar to what it was in 2018, where it went flat and sideways before moving back up into fractal 2, and eventually fractal 3 before moving into its next bull run. So folks, the takeaway here is that XRP has this macro structure. All these parts of this sideways range-bound time exists in every single occurrence of this macro structure playing out. That macro structure is the bull run, the decline, and then the sideways range-bound time. There are common features that take place in these structures. Now, every single time it plays out, it's unique, it's original, but the fundamental structure is always there. Let's go back to where we are today. Okay, folks, here we are back at today's chart, and this is fractal 1 with the 2018/19 fractal from the sideways range-bound time, copy and paste it onto today's chart. And as you can see, there are the similarities and the differences which we spoke of. Now, here is something important, and this hurts me every single time I say it. You know, there's a lot of technical analysis out there that is designed for hype. It's designed to get you excited about the XRP chart and how close it is, or potentially how close it is to a bull run. I wish I could be like that, but I would not be telling the truth, at least not from what I have learned about the chart. I don't approach technical analysis in the traditional way that many others do. I'm here to push TA in the realm of fractals to I'm here to increase that capability. I'm a lone ranger. There's not many people out there doing what I'm doing. I hope one day that more people will do it and take it further than I take it. I'm sure this can go further than I know about so far. This is common, what you'll see in most TA. In fact, I spoke about this on my last video about XRP, and I talked about how this is something you'll see, and as soon as it gets above this resistance line, it's like all this hype stuff, this moon boy talk, how it's going to shoot up, and when it doesn't do it, it's some narrative why, like it didn't do it because of this or whatever. Folks, understand this. These lines that people draw on charts, they have their time and their place. I'm not dissing the lines, but you have to know the chart structure really to make these things work well. In this structure, if you put this is exactly what I said might happen. It might get above it and kind of follow this line down. The chart is not following this line. The chart doesn't care about this resistance line. It's following a macro structure, and that macro structure in today's chart goes sideways. Understand that this time in the XRP chart is a sideways range-bound time. We should not expect a bull run at this point. To say that is going to happen is to give you false hope. Now, it will happen eventually, but we have to go through all these different structures. We have to go through fractal 1, we have to go through fractal 2, and we have to go through fractal 3. I'm not saying it's going to be this long. It could be much shorter. It could be longer. I don't know. Timing is unique every single time it plays out. My guess is that it's not going to be this long, where this has been the timing so far on this structure, and it ends around here. We'll go into fractal 2. At that point, price will move back up, but it will not be the big bull run that everyone is hyping you up to believe it is. Now, I know this hurts my channel, but I will happily have a small channel and be honest and truthful. I have not been wrong so far, and most likely, historically speaking, I'm not wrong. Historically speaking, we have never, ever had a bull run that took place in fractal 1 or fractal 2. Never of the sideways range-bound time. It's people that don't understand this structure that are selling you ideas that most likely will not happen. Could it happen? Sure. The impossible can become possible, but it's highly improbable that we will have a bull run at this point, or this point, or this point. At the end of this, once we complete this fractal, yes. But until then, no. Now, it will move up. It will move down. It will bounce around within this range. That's expected, but it's not going to be a bull run, and I know that hurts my channel, and I'm not here to make enemies. I'm just telling you the truth. Like I said, I'm here to push technical analysis in the fractal side of technical analysis. I'm here to push the limit. I'm here to try to expand the accepted ideas, what most standard TA offers, and it's very anemic when it comes to fractals. It's a highly understudied field of technical analysis, fractal analysis. Understand that. So I'm here to push the limits. I'm not here to step on toes. I'm not here to squash narratives or anything like that. I don't care. I'm a terrible guy when it comes to narratives. I don't know how to speak convincing narratives. I don't. That's not me. I'm about fractals. So if you want to learn about fractals, if you want to become educated in fractals, follow me. That's my specialty. That's my expertise. If this is your cup of tea, if you like this type of technical analysis, or even if you're just curious about it, hit that subscribe button. Pass it on to a friend. I'm going to be wrong on certain things, but I tell you this, the macro structure, I most likely am right. And time is going to be my advocate. We are not going to see a bull run until we complete all 3 fractals. I'm not a financial advisor, so none of this information should be used as financial or investment advice. I'm so glad you caught this video. I hope you catch my next one. Have a great day, and bye for now.